It's a blissful day ahead of us today as Senate begins probe into oil subsidy payments in Buhari's government. Wow. Again, it's a blissful day ahead of us. As Senate begins a probe into oil subsidy payments in Buhari's regime and Buhari's government. The Senate yesterday commenced the probe of oil subsidy and under recovery regime operated by the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. It specifically frowned at the 9.3 trillion spent on the subsidy regime by Buhari from January 2021 to June 2023. The Senate is also asking for a living wage for workers as a way of cushioning the effect of subsidy removal, and as well, no, yeah, and as well as making it effective. Six, for the establishment of three functional refineries for local production and distribution of refined oil with a view to bringing down the pump price from 540 naira per liter to between 300 naira to 350 naira per liter. Okay. The resolutions were a sequel to a motion sponsored by Chuba Ndubueze. Good. The resolutions were sequel to a motion sponsored by Chuba Ndubueze. Yeah, sorry about that. In the nation, and also in the motion, needs to investigate the controversial huge expenditure on premium motor spirit (PMS) under the subsidy under recovery regime by the Nigerian National Petroleum Commission Limited (NNPCL). Ndubueze said the step taken by President Bola Tinubu on subsidy withdrawal in May was commendable, but the regime needed to be investigated. He specifically submitted that while within 10 years, between 2006 to 2015, the federal government through NNPCL claimed 170 billion naira as undercovery. It expended 843.121 billion naira on under recovery between January 2018 and January 2019. He said very worrisome of the expenses made on subsidy under recovery by NNPCL during the period under review, particularly from January 2021 to June 2023, was 9.3 trillion naira claimed to have been spent. The money as shown by available records shows that in 2021, 1.42 trillion naira was expended in 2022, 4.3 trillion naira, and in the first 6 months of 2023, 3.6 trillion naira, and everything totaling 9.3 trillion naira. Again, he said the money as shown by available records shows that in 2021, 1.42 trillion naira was expended in 2022, 4.3 trillion naira in the first 6 months of 2023, my God, then 3.6 trillion naira, totaling 9.3 trillion naira that has been spent on subsidy. And the Buhari administration has not told us that subsidy has been removed, that the government are no longer subsidizing for us again, but rather they have done it indirectly. But let's see how this leads us. Many of the senators who contributed to the debate on the motion frowned at bogus expenses made on the subsidy regime by NNPCL and supported all the prayers sought for in the motion. The Senate accordingly resolved that its standing committees on petroleum downstream, petroleum, upstream, and finance should, when constituted, carry out a holistic investigation on all controversies surrounding subsidy and under recovery regime. It also urged the NNPCL, in conjunction with some major international oil companies, IOCs in Nigeria, to form three different consortiums and build three refineries for stabilization of the oil market and the nation's economic generally. The Senate has also mandated its Committee on Works, when constituted, to investigate the award of contracts for the rehabilitations of Aba Osisioma, Port Harcourt, Umuahia, Ikot-Ekpene roads. It specifically mandated the committee to investigate the level of funds released, utilization, and the level of work done so far. Okay. Now we have read a few ones we can, as it is concerning fuel subsidy, or rather, we said the headline says the Senate begins probe into oil subsidy payments in Buhari's government. Yeah. Now we have a new policy, a new system. If we can really follow that the line that the Tinubu administration, I believe they have their own catalog, they have their own content, they have their own syllabus, and they have their own administration to look inward to. Because if they don't look inwardly, so it's things that have been, sabotage may not allow them to continue the work. But notwithstanding, this is Tinubu's administration. Let's assume it's another regime, because I watched Tinubu yesterday from the review of replay of one of his speech, during the ECOWAS opening or meeting. Yeah, he spoke well. He said Nigeria, as of today, is for everybody. That's the way he was saying. Say now is our time to make Nigeria better. Those things that were in the past, as though they were, I believe they will succumb to the new policy and the fear of God we have in us. Concerning what he was saying, I was like, okay, Tinubu. And this man said his speech, sounds well, and it seems he's a good man. But I later realized that there are so many probes concerning election rigging, concerning drug traffic or thereabout. You understand? There is no one that does not have a mistake or does not have a past or thereabout. Either small, big, little, doesn't really matter. If they say somebody lied yesterday, they wave it off. Today, if he's speaking the truth, they might want to think it's like, or rather, people of the world who want to, have benefit of doubt. No, it shouldn't be. Tinubu has really spoken well yesterday, and the area of subsidy removal that is hidden in Buhari's administration, and now we are seeing it as obvious. That means there have been a subsidy removal all along, but the money that was supposed to cover up for another thing, they didn't allow nobody see it. They didn't allow the public to see it, and they still get paid from public funds. They still get paid from taxpayers' money, which is coming from the public and coming from the masses. And now that Tinubu has come out, well, I don't know the narrative. Now the specification has been there that since 2006 to 2015, there are some, saboteurs in the government. But Buhari came in again, started, with their sabotage administration. So many things went offline. Well, this is where I'm going to draw the curtain. I would like you to share your views in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Independent TV 7. Thanks for listening.